testify, is it your personal decision to testify?
Yes.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down and you can take the witness. This way, she comes. This way. All right, make sure you keep your voice up. Okay. Ms. Stevenson?
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, good afternoon, Ms. Glover. I'm gonna ask you to speak up nice and loud, okay, because you got the mask on and, we need to hear you well, okay?
Okay.
If I ever get to talking too fast, if you don't understand what I'm saying, just ask me to repeat myself and I'll be, okay? All right. So, on July 17th of 2022, were you acquainted with somebody by the name of Bryant?
Yes,
Okay, and how did you know Miss Reed?
from work.
Okay,
Ms. Stevenson, can we start out the record with her?
I'm sorry, I thought we did that, yes. Can you please state your full name for the record, first, middle, and last name?
Deanna J.K. Glover.
Okay, all right, now, on July 17th, 2022, did you know Renee Reed?
Yes,
And you knew her from work?
yes.
Okay, how long had you worked with Ms. Reed as of July 17th, 2022?
I would say I started in 2020,
Okay,
so I started in October.
okay, did you two work in the same areas and vision?
No,
Okay, did you have occasion to see Ms. Reed while you were at work?
yes,
Okay, did you two get along at work?
we've never spoken.
Okay, okay, would you say you two, or how did you get along at work, if you did?
Well, because I know that the people she hangs with don't like me, we really never spoke.
Okay, all right, so you did hear Ms. Reed's testimony this morning, correct?
Yes,
Okay, and you heard Ms. Reed make reference to an incident between the two of you, at a store, correct?
yes,
Okay, so, thank you, Ms. So, do you recall that incident?
yes,
Can you tell us what happened during that incident?
yes. At the time I was sitting in my car, I can hear her coming from the back of my car
Okay,
saying, here's her car right here.
okay, and did you do something in response to that?
No, she acted very quickly, opened my door, and me and her began to fight.
Okay, so you were in your car,
Yes,
okay, and Ms. Reed opened your car door and attacked you.
yes,
Was she alone?
no.
Do you know how many people were with her?
There was 2 other women with her.
Okay, did you know either of those women?
No,
Okay, and, so did the two of you return working together after that incident?
yes.
Okay, and how were things at work after that incident?
We didn't have an argument or anything, I just really mind my business.
Okay.
We didn't have any words.
Okay, was there anything that happened between the two of you at work before that incident?
Before the
No,
fight?
ma'am, no, ma'am. When there's an objection on the floor, you have to stop. What was your objection?
Was there anything that happened at work between you and Ms. Reed before the incident at the store that you just described?
Yes, she walked up on me. This was the only time she ever spoke to me. She told me I couldn't sit in her particular seat next to, her boyfriend.
Okay, all right. Are there any other incidents between the two of you?
No,
Okay, all right. So, did you ever have an occasion where you had to, never mind, sorry, I won't do that. Okay, so fast forward to the date of this incident that brings us to court today. Do you recall coming into contact with Renee Reed on July 17th, 2022?
I saw her at the party when I got there.
Okay, was she there when you arrived?
Yes,
Okay, and, did you, have any interaction with her?
no.
Okay, and how long did you stay at the party?
As soon as I saw her, I approached the people who I came with and asked
Why
them,
did you do that?
because previous to that, they just jumped me, previous to that. So me being at a party with her, that's gonna cause something, like, it's, I'm putting myself in a situation where something can happen again.
Okay, and so then did you make a
Please
decision?
pause for a second.
Did you make a decision as to, whether you're gonna stay at the party once you saw Ms. Reed?
I decided to leave.
Okay, so about how long after you first saw her did you decide to leave?
I would say it was about 11:15.
Okay, so about what time did you get to the party?
I got there, I wanna say 10:30,
Okay,
because it was like dark.
okay, do you know about how many people were there when you got there?
It was a lot of people, I wasn't really paying attention. I know it was a lot of cars in the field to be parked in,
Mm-hmm,
but it was a lot of people at the
Okay.
party.
okay, all right, so when was the first time at the party that you saw Ms. Reed?
I walked over to somebody I knew, he no longer worked there no more, and I hugged him and said, hey. And like, she was standing with her group of friends, and
Okay.
like, they all just turned and was looking like, you know.
Okay, and then what'd you do after you greeted that person that you?
That was when I went back across the street to where, the people that I knew were parked at.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when I questioned them and asked, like, why didn't nobody tell me she was gonna be here?
Is that where you were parked as well?
Yeah,
Okay, and so what'd you do then?
so then I ended up getting in my car and, well, I said my goodbyes first.
Okay,
And then I ended up getting into the line to leave because it was a block party, so it stopped the go traffic.
okay, and so then what happens after you get in your car to leave?
When I'm leaving, I can feel like my car, the back of it, like the back of my, hatch part
Yes,
going up and down.
okay, and then what did you do in response to that, if anything?
I put my car in reverse because how my car is, it has a camera on the back of it, so you can see behind.
Okay, so you wanted to see what was going on?
Yeah,
Okay, and did you observe anything that was happening?
I could see that, it was somebody standing on my car, like on the back of it.
Were you able to recognize who that was?
No, not at the time.
Okay, and then did you do something after that?
I opened my door.
Okay, was your car still in reverse? or-
No, by this time I put my car in park.
Please let her finish her question before you answer.
By this time I put my car in park.
And then did you do anything after that?
I exited the vehicle
Okay.
and I verbally said, get the fuck off my car.
Who were you talking to?
At the time, I didn't know who I was talking to. I just assumed that it had to be that group because that's the area that we're in.
Okay, so you tell somebody that, did you recognize anyone that you were talking to once you got out of the car?
No, once I got out of the car and said that, that was when they all came from the side of the car.
Who came from the side?
Renee and Miss White and a few other people, but I don't know their names.
Do you know how many people? Do you remember how many people?
It was like 4 or 5 girls
Okay.
coming from the side.
And what happened when those 4 or 5 girls came from the side of the car?
We had words and then we began to fight.
Okay, and do you remember who any of those girls were?
The only people that I know by name is Renee and Miss White.
Okay, do you know Ms. White's first name?
Erica.
Okay, all right, and do you know how long this fight lasted?
I'm not sure.
Okay, if you recall, do you know who hit you first?
No, we just, me and Renee, I know I was looking at her.
Okay, and what happened when you saw her, when you recognized her?
That was who I started fighting.
Okay, all right, and so, I don't know if I asked you this, do you know about how long did that fight last?
I'm not sure. I
Okay,
just know it got broke up and that was when I got in my car and I left.
how did it get broken up?
By people that were out there.
Okay.
It was a lot of people out there, men, women, it was a lot of people out there.
Okay, and so what happened after the fight was broken? What did you do after the fight was
I
broken?
just hurried up and got my car and left.
Okay. And did you have occasion to contact the police about the situation?
Yes,
Okay. And, okay. At some point, did you get arrested?
yes.
Okay. Do you know about how long after the incident you got arrested?
August 23rd is when I got arrested.
Okay. Do you remember where you were when you got arrested?
I was at work.
Okay. All right. So you and Ms. Reed did work together at the time of this incident?
Yes,
At what company?
Detroit Chapman.
Do you still work there?
No.
Okay. When did you stop working?
When I was released from jail,
Uh-huh.
I went there to get all of my complaints that I had put in
What kind of complaints did you put in?
against people that were from her group of friends.
Why were you putting complaints in?
Because when I would go tell somebody, nobody would do anything specifically
Tell somebody what?
regarding a supervisor or anybody like that. I would tell them what's going on as far as them just always saying little stuff to me and want to bicker with me, go back and forth. Completely not liking me for no reason, basically. Just because if one friend doesn't like me, it's like they have to go with the other friend.
Okay, so you made complaints at work about a bad relationship that you were having with someone?
With all of them.
Who?
It was multiple people. It was, I never had an issue with Erica White, but it was, I can't even remember their name specifically. I know Cynthia. And it was two other ladies.
Was Ms. Reed one of those people?
No,
Okay, all right,
the only incident that I had with her was when we were driving in the parking lot
okay.
and she almost hit me.
When did that happen?
That happened before, that was the reason for all of this in the first place.
When did it happen? When did that happen?
It happened months before this.
Okay, let me ask you, so we have two pretty big events that happen. We have the situation at the block party, correct?
Yes,
And we have the situation at the party store, correct?
yes.
Okay, so when in relation to those two events did this hitting with the car happen?
Way before both events.
Okay, so it happens before
The fight at the store.
okay, before, so, okay. All right, so there's something that happened. And what happened with that incident?
Just objection of relevance.
So, Your Honor, I think that goes directly to the complaining witnesses, getting an understanding of why the complaining witness was fabricated. So, question.
Don't read something back, don't say read something back. I'm for reporter. You forgot your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Jesse, read the question back.
Thank you. Sure.
Question, all right, so there's something that happened, and what happened with that? So it happens before then?
Okay, I know where. Okay, so the situation that causes you to, where you said that she was trying to hit you with a car or something like that?
Yeah.
That happened before the fight at the party store?
Right.
Okay, all right. Okay, you indicated after this incident, after the block party, did you say that you made a police report?
After the block party, yes.
Yes. Okay, did you, see any other relief or assistance of the police or anything like that?
Yes, I made a police report, Detective Lovelace, he came out and spoke with me.
Okay, when did he come and talk to you?
I wanna say 2 days after I made the police report.
Okay, did you make the police report before you went to jail?
Yes,
Okay, do you remember when you made the police report?
no,
Okay, did you do anything other than, in addition to trying to get make a police report?
I tried to just get the restraining order
Okay, against whom?
against Renee, because that way I could still work where I was working at. And I wouldn't have to deal with that, like deal with all of the drama and stuff.
Okay, so the drama that you're describing with Ms. Reed, about how long is that going on between the two of you?
It really only happens, when she's by herself, me and her don't have an issue, I do my thing, she does her.
Okay,
It's more so when she was with her group of friends where it would be directly toward me.
okay, was that stuff happening when you were at work mostly, or?
Yes, or like, when we would go to the store, it's a store directly, across the street from our job.
Okay, and about how long had you been dealing with that situation? How long did that last?
For a while. I had been making complaints and asking for like a mediation meeting for a while.
Did that ever happen?
No,
Okay, all right, I don't have anything further, Your Honor.
Awesome, Lynise.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Ms. Glover.
hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good.
So, Ms. Glover, I just have a couple clarifying questions on the testimony that you gave, Ms. Stevenson.
Mhm.
And if you need me to repeat my question or you don't understand my question, just let me know, okay?
Gotcha.
All right, so I want to go back to, the testimony about the fight that happened at the store.
Uh-huh.
What date was that?
It was 17.
The fight that happened at the store?
Actually, no, that was the first fight. So that was like beginning of July.
Okay, do you recall what exact date?
No, I don't recall what exact date.
Okay. And you testified that Miss Reed and a couple other people jumped you at the store, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay, and you said it was about how many people again?
it was her and 2 other people.
2 other people at the store?
Yes,
Okay, and you testified after that you drove off, is that correct?
yes,
Okay, did you make a police report then?
no,
Okay. Did you return back to work then?
yes,
Did you make a complaint with your job about what happened at the store?
no,
So you didn't report it to your job or the police what happened, that you got jumped at the store?
no,
Okay. And then, you testified that there was an incident that happened before the store, is that correct?
yes,
And where did that incident happen? I'm sorry.
in the job,
In the job?
yes,
So you were at the job when that incident happened?
yes.
And can you, refresh my recollection, what happened at the job?
She just walked up to me out the blue and said that I couldn't sit where I was sitting.
Okay, so that was your first altercation with Ms. Reed, is that correct?
Yeah, it wasn't really an altercation, it was words exchange.
Okay, but nothing physical happened?
No,
Did you file a complaint at that time?
about her telling me I had to get up, no.
Okay, so you testified that there were many complaints filed, so if that was the first time, what other complaints were filed with your job?
As far as Ms. Renee Reed,
Yes.
none. This was that's what I'm saying, this was our first real issue. When she walked up to me and said what she said, I let that know it wasn't a big deal, I just got up and moved.
Okay, but you never made any complaints against Ms. Reed at your job?
No, it was the people that she was with more so.
Okay, and then let's go to, the incident at the block party. So who did you arrive with at the block party?
I drove in my car alone, but I tailgated behind, 3 other people.
So altogether it was you and 3 other people?
Yeah,
Okay, so, where were these 3 other people during your time at the block party?
they were over in the field,
Okay, were you near them anytime while you were at the block party?
off and on, yes, because I kept seeing people that I knew, so I was speaking to people.
Okay, so when is it that you first noticed Ms. Reed at the block party?
when I was saying, hi to somebody. I was giving somebody a hug and I was greeting somebody, and that was when I noticed her.
Okay, was it still daytime outside when you noticed Ms. Reed?
No,
So it was nighttime?
yeah,
You recall what time when you first noticed Ms. Reed?
this was fresh when I first got there, so I wanna say like 10, 15.
Okay, so it was dark time, correct?
Yeah,
Okay. And who were you with when you noticed Ms. Reed?
I'm alone,
You were by yourself?
yeah.
Okay. And do you recall where you noticed Ms. Reed?
On the other side of the street,
On
Yeah.
what street?
the street we were on, the Black Party Street.
Okay, do you recall what the name of that street?
No,
Was it Charlevoix or Mount Elliott?
I would believe we were on Charlotte.
Okay. So were you near some houses?
Yeah,
Okay,
so the other side of the street was the field, the other side of the street was houses.
okay, so you were between the houses and the field, like on the street between the houses and.
Right,
Okay, so that's when you first noticed Ms. Reed.
right.
Where was she standing?
Across, like, kind of how you are right now,
Okay.
the
Was
same
she,
distance,
was she on the side of the porta potties or the side of the house?
the side of the house,
So she was on the side of the street where the houses are.
right.
And where are you standing?
I'm standing exactly like how we are right now. This is the distance that we had between each other,
Well, where were you standing?
in the street,
In the street?
yes,
Okay. And you testified after you noticed Ms. Reed, you left?
yes,
Okay. You also testified to Ms. Stevenson that you approached some people that Ms. Reed was at the party with. Was that your testimony?
no, ma'am,
Okay, who did you approach at the party, at the block party?
somebody that I knew, it was a guy.
Okay, you testified that you went up to someone and asked, why didn't you tell me she was here?
Oh, yeah, that was the people that I came with,
Okay, so,
because those are all people from my job.
okay, so the three people that you tailgated behind to the block party were the people at your job.
Yes,
And you came with them and you approached them and asked them, why didn't you tell me she was at the block party?
yes,
Okay, where were you at that point?
at that point, I'm over in the field,
Okay, where's your car parked?
over in the field.
And is this the field with the porta potties?
I would assume so. I personally didn't see porta potties because I didn't use any, but I would assume,
But it was the
That's it.
field across from the house.
Yes.
Okay. So you testified to Ms. Stevenson that you got into your vehicle and left,
yes,
and then it was your testimony that you felt some type of movement on the back of your vehicle,
yes,
but you didn't know who it was.
no.
When did you notice who it was on the back of your vehicle?
When I exited the vehicle,
Okay, and did you say anything?
yes,
What did you say?
get the fuck off my car.
Okay, and at that point, who were you speaking to?
I don't know at the time until they came out. Because it was, so behind my car is the blind spot, of course. If I'm standing on the side of it, I'm not gonna see who it is until they come out from behind the car.
So when you put the car in reverse and looked on camera, you testified that you couldn't see behind you.
Right, all I saw was legs.
Okay, so when you finally realized who it was, what did you do next?
We had words, we had exchange of words.
Who was we?
Me, Renee, the people she was with,
And you testified it was about 4 or 5 people?
yeah,
Okay. And then you testified to Ms. Stevenson that they approached you and you started fighting?
yes.
Okay, how many people approached you?
It was like a crowd of them coming towards me. So then me and Renee just started fighting.
Okay, so let's back up just a little bit. When you say a crowd, about how many people approached you when you were by your vehicle?
About a group of 4 or 5 people,
And these were the same people that was with Ms. Reed,
yes,
and they all approached you?
yes.
So how did it come that you started fighting Ms. Reed opposed to all the people that approached you?
I did start fighting other people that approached me. I could literally feel them hitting me.
Okay, so they started fighting you,
Right.
or did you start, who swung first? I should ask it that way, who swung?
I wouldn't even be able to tell you who won first. All I know is that we approached each other and started fighting. The person that I was head up with was Miss Reed.
Okay,
The other people began to hit me in the back of my head the same way they did the first time.
so about 4 or 5 people are hitting you at this time,
Yes,
and what did you do at that point?
I'm still fighting.
Okay, and how long did that last?
I'm not sure. All I know is people just start breaking it up.
Do you
That's
know
all I
who was
know.
breaking it up?
No. Because by this time, my main thing is to get in my car.
Okay, at any point, did you try to get in your vehicle?
No,
Okay.
until the fight was broke up.
Okay, so why didn't you pull up opposed to getting out of your vehicle fighting these 4 or 5 people with Ms. Reed?
I guess we were already hyped off of, everybody was drinking. So I guess our anger was already up there.
Your anger was already up there?
Yes,
Okay. And at any point, did you report that to the police?
that we got into the fight.
That you began a fight, Ms. Reed and these 4 or 5 people?
Yes, afterward,
When?
directly after that, like, I want to say the following day, I went in and spoke to somebody.
Where did you go?
I would have to go to 2 different, precincts because they told me one incident was for one, precinct and the other one was for the other precinct.
Okay, so I'm a little bit confused. So what did you report? Why did you report 2 separate incidents?
Because once I told them about the first fight, they told me that that's something I needed to report to. Because that's what led up to the second fight.
And you don't remember what precinct you went to?
No, I know the detective's name, but I forgot what precinct.
Do you know what street it was on?
No,
And you said this was a day after the fight?
yes,
Did you have any injuries from the fight?
no. I had scratches, but no black eyes or anything, no.
Okay, and this was after 4 or 5 people jumped you at the block party, you didn't have any injuries?
Yes, the same thing when I was at the party store, I didn't have any injuries.
That's not my question. My question is, you didn't have any injuries when 4 or 5 people jumped you at the block party?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you recall, speaking to the police about this incident?
Yes,
Okay. Did you tell the police, that you made a report?
yes.
Okay, do you remember who you spoke with when you told them you made a report?
Detective, Lovelace, he came out to my house.
Do you recall making a statement when you went to the police station?
Yes,
Okay, what
they
they,
had me write it down. I verbally told them and then they had me write it down.
about this incident?
Yes,
And do you recall telling them about the incident that happened between you and Ms. Reed at the block party?
yes,
But you don't know what day that was?
no.
So you wrote a statement, but you don't recall what day you wrote that statement?
No, I can't be specific on the day and I don't want to give you a wrong date, so no.
Okay. Now, you testified to Ms. Stevenson that you went to your job to get complaints for a PPO?
Yes,
A PPO against whom?
against Ronnie Reed.
Okay, now you testified earlier to me that you didn't have any incidents with Ms. Reed outside of the one where she told you to get up from sitting next to a boy at work, correct?
Right.
Okay, so what complaints did you go and get for your PPO?
As far as to get a PPO against her, I didn't go get any complaints.
So you didn't testify to Ms. Stevenson that you went to your job to get complaints for a PPO?
No,
So you didn't file a PPO?
yes, I filed a PPO, but first of all, they told me that I had to get it served. All of that,
No, ma'am.
was,
No, ma'am, come on.
What complaints did you go and get for the PPO from your job?
no complaints on Miss Ronnie Reed.
So you didn't have a PPO?
I didn't have complaints on her either.
You didn't have a PPO against Ms. Reed, yes or no?
No,
Judge, I have no further questions.
Redirect.
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am, you may step in.
Are they in session?
Anything further on behalf of the defense?
Defense rest, Your Honor.
Any rebuttal on behalf of the people?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Ready to post an argument?
People are ready to.
Defense is ready to close the bar.
Thank you, Judge. So Judge, as the people indicated to the court in the opening statement, that this case is basically retaliation for revenge. The complainant witness testified in her testimony, she told the court that there was an incident that happened at a store prior to the day in question in front of the court. there was an incident that happened at the store where the complainant witness and the defendant were involved in a physical altercation, which included a couple people. And the complainant witness testified that she knew the defendant from work and that there was animosity between the defendant and the complainant witness based on this fight that happened at the store. So fast forward to July 17th of 2022, Your Honor, the complainant witness testified that she went to a block party with a person named Ms. Erica White. Once they were at the block party, she stayed there for a while. She testified that her and Ms. White had a couple of drinks. After the fact, she testified that she tried to use the bathroom at a house on Charles Road in Mount Elliott. And once she came out of the house after realizing there was no toilet paper, she testified that she went across the street to the porta potties in the field. And that's when she was approaching the porta potty and she felt a shove on her back. The complainant witness testified that when she immediately turned around, she testified that she noticed the defendant pulling her arm back and running back to her vehicle. There was People's Exhibit 1 that was played for the court, and in that exhibit, the complainant witness, Ms. Reed, was shown laying down in a hospital bed where she testified that she went to the Detroit Receiving Hospital for her injury, which was an injury to her left shoulder. There was also testimony from the officer in charge, Detective Monroe, and Detective Monroe testified that he was the officer in charge and detective on this case. And during the investigation, after he spoke separately to Ms. Reed and the eyewitness, Ms. White at the time, they both identified Ms. Glover as being the person who ran behind Ms. Reed and stabbed her in her left shoulder and running away. There was testimony from the detective that during the process of this interview for the witnesses, that each witness is interviewed separately. And there was testimony from Detective Monroe that during the separate instances that these witnesses were interviewed, essentially both of the statements from the witnesses were the same. So Judge, comparing that to the testimony for Ms. Glover, Ms. Glover chose to give up her right to remain silent and actually testified in front of the court. And her testimony was really unclear and it really didn't make sense, Your Honor, to the people. The people did ask questions about the testimony that she gave to Ms. Stevenson, which was totally different than the testimony that she gave to the people, where she told Ms. Stevenson in her direct examination that there were complaints filed that she was trying to get against Ms. Reed and trying to file a PPO order. Compare that to the cross-examination from the people. Ms. Glover testified that
Come in the back. We're gonna recess. Ms. Stevenson, just give me the note. Come in, Ms. Stevenson. We're in recess. Just go take your client out.